Hello print fam, welcome back to another video. These videos are getting harder and harder to make because my lack of time, which is why they tend to be on a Friday, because I do want to get content out to you because I think it's helpful. I learn from you. I think many of you learn from me. But that's my biggest issue right now is time. So this week, as you may have seen in my short earlier, I hired someone. I actually hired two people at this point. Both of them are my nephews. They don't work full-time, they work part-time, they work for fun money, so it's not something that's super critical for them, so it makes things easier for me. But I wanted to explain my process, why I was scared, and why at this point I think it's freaking awesome. Let's get into it. So, I'm running out of time. So the first thing I did was I researched time clocks. So I'm using an app called Homebase, that little purple icon. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. It's free. You can have paid versions. You can do payroll through it, all sorts of fun stuff. So that was the first thing I did, was get an app that I could monitor time. On there, since it's an iPad and I have an iPhone, I have a list of tasks that they can do if I'm not here and they have nothing else to do. So things like clean the bathroom, clean the windows, sweep the floor, and other things that I think of that I'm like, oh, that's something that could be done, but is not necessarily a priority. So it's been super nice, super convenient, and it's allowed me to spend some time doing other things while they do kind of the task-oriented things. Like I have 12 boxes here that need to be repackaged. They're going to do that. I had these shirts that I needed counted to make sure they were all there because Sanmar's having issues lately. They did that. I had some folders that I need to mail off, but I bulk produced them and I needed 200 of them. They counted those out. I had 20,000 stickers that I needed the machine to just keep running regardless of me being here or not. They ran that. So I will fully admit that I was super scared. I was super nervous, and like I almost didn't want to hire someone with like the fear of not having stuff for them to do or not being able to keep them busy, and also just like frankly being able to pay for them. But so far, my one nephew, I owe him like $100, and the other nephew I owe like 32 because he only worked a few hours. I've way sold that job for more than like being able to pay them $8-10 an hour. Like, they're high school kids. They don't care. They don't need to make $1 million. No, I couldn't pay a minimum wage. They wouldn't work for that. But so I hired him Tuesday and asked if he could come in. He came in at 6 o'clock at night. So I quickly showed him, hey, I just need to make it, like, I need the cutter to run and just keep running it, keep doing it. And at the same time, if you could clean up the shop a little bit, that's great. But I'm like, I really don't care. I need the cutter to just work. He ran 10 sets of the job or something like that. He took the garbage out, he swept the floor, he cleaned up all the leaves that had blown in, he organized the media corner, he padded some books for me, and I was able to go home. Like, Monday I was here till 1 a.m. Tuesday I went home at like 7. He was here for an hour with me. I went home, he worked till 10, and it was so awesome. It was scary to do it, but now that I have it, I don't think I can go back. Even though it's only been like 2 days. It's Friday. I hired him on Tuesday. Like, he worked Tuesday. He didn't come Wednesday. He worked yesterday, and he's coming today for a few hours. So let me show you what I've been having. Well, I don't know. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Like, it's kind of like my first piece of equipment. It was like my major first piece after I bought my vinyl cutter was a heat press. And that heat press was $300. And I was so nervous and scared to buy it. I stewed and worried and fret more over that $300 heat press purchase than I did the $100,000 flatbed printer. you just get to a point that you understand what it is. And I finally am to that point that I understand what employees are for. And at this point, I just need to decide how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to manage it, and how big I actually want to go or grow. Right now, the part-time is really good, but I will eventually get to the point that I want someone here all the time, the same hours as me, so to speak. So let me stew over what I've told you, and I'll summarize the video. I guess to wrap up this video, what I have to say is this. It was scary buying my first piece of equipment, but worth it. It was scary getting rent and getting a bigger space, but worth it. It was scary hiring an employee, but worth it. So just be smart in the decisions that you're making, and make sure that you have a little bit of runway for taking on those risks and opportunity. That's my 2 cents. I hope it helps. I'm so grateful and glad that I could have some growth to be able to afford to hire some people. It's been very helpful the last few days. My employee is at the shop right now working while I'm going to deliver and do a sales call to try to get more business. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you have more questions, leave them down in the comments. Appreciate all of you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Print fam.